Okay, like 20 years ago, right? 20 years ago, about 2 days ago, 2 days ago, 20 years ago, 2 days ago, well, 20 years ago, I was, I had been incarcerated for possession of a firearm, well, for possession of two firearms. I take that back. It was possession of three firearms and possession of a controlled substance, namely cocaine. That was my third offense for possession, my sixth offense for gun possession. That was my second offense for drug possession. And it was my third conviction. So the court filed habitual status. I had a 2-year sentence prior to that, where I did 11 months. I got out. I went in, did 11 months, came home, stayed out about 8 months, went right back. The second time, I got a 3-year sentence for possession of counterfeit money and possession of a firearm, and I received a 3-year sentence where I did 18 months, came home, and stayed out about 8 months and went right back. And then on that one, I got locked up for gun possession, illegal felon in possession of a firearm. They lined me up and I made bond. And when they called me, I had drugs, possession of cocaine, and possession of another firearm. So that's how it all kind of came together. So in a way, jumped in bond and got locked up again. Bam. When I went to court, this was like January 30th of 98. And when I got locked up, I was like around 21. I was like 20, finna be turning 21 or something like to that degree. And they gave me, they offered me 30 years. I wouldn't take it. They went from 30 years to 30 years. I'm like, damn, what happened to the 5s and the 10s and the 15s? But I didn't know Bush had launched a zero tolerance against felon in possession of a firearm because he was the governor at the time. And so, bam, they wouldn't go down from 30. I go to trial, they gave me 40 years. And it was a 49 aggravated sentence, and I ended up doing 14 flat calendar years. I came home January 30th of 2012. 2 days ago marked my 6th year being home. And let me tell you, before I had went down this last time, and even a good portion, I'd say like 7 years into that sentence, I drank all the time. I still was getting high and all that, right? Because, if you're looking for something, you can get it in prison like you can get it out here. Maybe not as freely and as abundantly as you want it, but you can. So, my drug of choice at the time was, I smoked weed, but it was more like smoking cigarettes. It was like a social high. But my drug was really smoking what they call fry. And I would do that and cocaine together. I would toot cocaine and then smoke me a fry stick. And this was on a daily basis, almost throughout the day. So I had reached the point where I could barely kind of talk clearly. I can talk, I can deal with my hood environment people because we kind of understood each other, right? So it didn't require me to have a hell of a vocabulary or a great skill or ability to really be able to communicate, because we kind of talk in broken sentences and shit, like, know what I'm saying? I'm talking about, and hadn't really said nothing. But anyway, when I was, it's a lot more to the story, but I just kind of want to keep it simple and brief right now. But one day I will really fully, disclose my life story with more detail. But just something that I hadn't done since I've been doing my videos. I kind of want to give people a more clearer picture of me and where I come from and what makes me who I am and so on. And so, but more than anything, this is more like an anniversary for me. This is a celebration. This is something I said I'm gonna start doing, like not so much making a video about it, but celebrating, my anniversary of being free somewhat to say, or back into society, I'd say even more, when I was going right back and coming out and going right back, because I hadn't figured out how to stay out. I hadn't figured out how to deal and respond to life. And so when I was incarcerated the last time, I was all about reconstructing my brain and my brain cells, and I felt like you can tap into that part of your brain that you wasn't utilizing, and some of them cells you wasn't utilizing. I just refused to believe that I'm stuck. I was going to be stuck, in the way I was, and so I read everything that I got my hands on, everything, and to the point to where I had really become obsessed with reading. I have a love for reading, and at today I listen to more audiobooks and videos and stuff like that, but that is one of my goals again, to get back onto that reading real heavily again, because man, I'm telling you, reading the book is nothing compared to it. You can't compare like listening to audio like reading the book, because you get such a deeper perception of what you're reading when you read. But with all that being said, I just really want to take a brief moment while I'm on my J, you know what I'm saying, to kind of give all my people and those who really be checking me out a reason why I celebrate life the way I do, and the reason why I'm all about positivity as much as possible. I'm all about, support, building, and so on as much as possible, because for the first time in all my years, I've learned how to live. I've learned what life is about, because all those years before, I lived very counterproductively. Everything was really a slow step to death. You know what I'm saying? And man, it's just good. People used to ask me how I feel to be home. I used to tell them, I said, well, I hadn't really started my freedom. What to me would equivalent freedom or equates freedom hadn't really been realized yet, because I hadn't started doing some of the things that I needed to do to kind of foundate to stabilize myself back in society. So now that some of the things have been starting to materialize, I'm starting to get some things together, and things are starting to, the picture's becoming more clear or whatever. I can say, man, it's always good. It's always good not to be in that day room. Nothing else, man. Brothers, it can be grateful not to be sitting in that day room. You know what I'm saying? A lot of brothers have fell by the wayside, but a lot of brothers still out here grinding, trying to have it and make it, man. And no one can really ever understand or try to even have a judgmental opinion about a brother who comes from that kind of background and out here struggling trying to get it together if you've never really lived that. I don't care what you've been through. If you haven't been taken out of society like that and done that kind of time or whatever, man, it's something that you really just have to go through. You know what I'm saying? But, I just really wanted to put it out there, man, that, January the 30th will always mark another year for me. And this is my 6th year. And I'm real grateful for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm real grateful for it. For people who know me and talk to me today, there's no way, it's hard for them to even be able to fathom or mentally connect me to the guy that I was, to the shooter that, some people still call me shooter today, but I'm saying that shooter that was existing at that time, you really can't even connect the two in your mind unless you know him. And for some people who even knew him, and it's hard for them to even really be, who he is or who he was is even vague in their mind now, because of the man that I present today to even them. And I do it boldly, and I do it with a certain level of just courage. And because when I do this, I know that how we can be sometimes, but I know where I'm trying to go, man. I'm all about living. I'm all about peace of mind. I'm all about, productivity and so on. And if I connect the energy that's not about that, I'm quick to disconnect, and move forward. No hard feelings, no none of that. It's just we on different paths. We still respond to life differently. Our perception of things is different. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make me better. Doesn't make you worse. We just different, and and maybe we'll meet somewhere down the line where we are more in tune, that we harmonize. But hey, man, peace and blessings to everybody. Much love and respect. The weekend is about to kick in, and man, as always, man, you live it responsibly every day. And living responsibly is always trying to figure out what you could have done differently, man, to make a situation different or better, or where you didn't have to sacrifice things that you truly value just to prove a point, or, just to move forward, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what it's going to be about, man. You make a decision if you're just trying to prove a point, but yeah, it's going to cost you everything. then that can be a point that wasn't even worth it. You know what I'm talking about? So, man, let's be responsible. Let's live life, and let's be productive. Let's be supportive, man. Let's learn how to love each other and support each other. Stop being so judgmental and opinionated and critical. You know what I'm saying? And I will say this, just because a person tell a person they wrong or try to correct a person for doing things that, maybe harm someone else, or whatever the case may be, or even harming themselves, and which is in turn maybe harming their children and so on. Uh, that's not negative. That's constructive criticism. That's me trying to help you destroy some of the counterproductive things so that we can be more productive. With that being said, peace and blessings, much love, Jerry Hassan, the Children's Enlightening Minds Enterprise Wolfpack representative. Mr. Shift your perspective. If it don't sound right, feel right, seem right, man, just try to look at it from a different position because there's always another way of looking at it. Peace.